Good morning. This is Reverend PamellaGeagan from the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley in Camarillo, California. And it's wonderful to be with you this morning as we continue our poetry and mysticism, following the mysticism of William Blake, who was an 18th century, 19th century poet. And he was truly a mystic in all senses. As you'll see, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. But first, we're going to relax in. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Relax in. Pardon me while I put my earphones on. I'll tell you a little bit about him as we relax in, and then I'll read some of his poetry and how he used his poetry to connect with the oneness of the everythingness. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was a mystic, and you'll see that many people he had that they felt he walked that fine line of mysticism and madness. So it is interesting. Today, he would be the total visionary. I can tell you that right now if he were living today. So let me just go within and we're going to connect. We're just going to go within and connect. As I put water on underneath us. And pulling from that highest and high and taking it down to the deepest of deep and opening our crown chakra. And know with me that there is only the one power, the one presence. And as that power and that presence, it's all around us, from the left to the right, to the north, to the west, to the top, to the bottom, to the east, to the south, to the north, the east to the west, is coming all the way down our crown and just relaxing our forehead, relaxing our necks, allowing your neck, whatever position you're in, just relaxing your neck and rolling your shoulders back, 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 back. And then you're relaxing those shoulders, dropping them down. And then just breathing in naturally and quietly, seeing that wonderful energy fill the body, going from the neck down to the shoulders, down to the upper arms, down to the elbows, down to the lower arms, out the wrists and hands. And as we take that energy, we direct that energy. Our body is that energetic presence. And so as I set my intention today, during all of that is going on around me, I set my intention today just to relax in and be the observer and the visionary of something greater that is unfolding right here and right now in our lives. And I feel so grateful to be here in this moment, this changing moment. I am honored by the divine presence within. So as I go down the back here with that energetic presence, just relaxing the shoulders, dropping the shoulders, seeing that energy go down vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae, wrapping around the front of the chest, opening the heart, seeing the lotus in the heart. It's so beautiful. And then going down, down, down and wrapping back around vertebrae by vertebrae, going down into the solar plexus. And wrapping around, going back down the back, down, 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 relaxing in, going down into the sacral chakra, the beautiful orange sacral chakra, and then wrapping back down the back, vertebrae by vertebrae, separating those vertebrae, And however that makes you feel, if you want to bend forward and just stretch. And then pull up tall and then backward down, relax and relaxing the back and the neck. See those vertebrae separating, bringing that energy in and through the whole body and going down through the hips, the thighs, and the front to the root chakra, the beautiful red ruby root chakra from the hips, going down the thighs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, going down the bottom of the feet, going down, down, down into that middle earth, and anchoring right there in this third dimensional body. And as we breathe in with God is on the in-breath, and on the out-breath I am. And 2 more, silently. And knowing that on the I am we are connecting with the allness, of which is the power and the presence, the love, the immortality, the eternality of the soul itself, the incorruptible soul. And being grateful also for all that has brought us to this point in this soul, on this karmic journey, in this earthly existence that is revealing to us that which we need to know most and experience most on our eternal path of becoming. Going home, going back from the Alpha and the Omega, the one and only, the one power, one presence, one omniscience, one love, one all-knowingness, the great beyond within, connecting with the allness, which is the everythingness and is the nothingness, all at the same time. And so we just breathe in and just relax in for just a moment, and I'll tell you more about William Blake. Look at a couple lines of his poetry from Heaven and Hell, his poem Heaven and Hell, and some from his Songs of Innocence. And then I'll end with affirmations for today. So I believe that William Blake was not only a visionary, but a mystic. In that mystical sense, he was a visionary, and he was a prophet. But how does one interpret the language of prophecy? Many people thought he was a madman. But is the language of prophecy also the language of madness, of hidden truth and hidden images? Because Blake thought so. His prophecies and visions informed his poetic style and language, and he invested in them passion, the passion of his beingness, the passion of the human experience and the heavenly experience. The energetic and substance that reaches far beyond the mere meaning or signification, the significance of language. In his poetry and in his artistry and in his printing, he created illuminated printing, which he said came to him from the angels. That passion and substance created the visions of the prophet Elijah that came to him. He saw Elijah and talked with Elijah many times from the heaven world. angels that surrounded him, among other visions. So the question always was Blake insane? And if so, does mental illness necessarily detract from the value of his visionary poetry? Or did it contribute something to it? Well, in the mix of all of this, that fine line between sanity, brilliance, mysticism, lies mysticism, that fine line. And Blake, as we know now, was a follower of the esoteric religious doctrines of Emanuel Swedenborg. And his combining of madness and mysticism became the key to understanding Blake the man. It did not disintegrate, it magnified the faculties of the mind, of his mind, and his passionate commitment to the imagination, the spiritual and the profound. Blake believed that the kingdom of heaven would be on earth. Once again, there would be a second coming. And he maintained these beliefs throughout his life and would inspire his early verses, such as, "There is no natural religion, and all religions are one." Blake believed that whatever was divine in God must be divine in man. And just as he was coming into maturation from a boy, he began to experience visions and have communications with the angel Gabriel, the Virgin Mary, and various other figures from history and religious life. And that was out of the box for most people then. They did not talk about such things, although there were others who were experiencing that same mystical side of the oneness of life at the time. And so what they considered Blake's eccentric behavior was an indicative portion, well, it was a reflective portion of his lifestyle and career. The images of the angels and other religious symbols were prominently displayed and powerfully displayed in Blake's poetry and artistry. And it wasn't just because of their mystical and religious significance as cultural symbols. It was because many of Blake's visions were religious in nature. In the Songs of Innocence, Blake's poem, The Divine Image, reflects upon the idealistic tones of his mysticism and what they mean for the future of humanity. He wrote, "To mercy, pity, peace, and love, all pray in their distress, and to these virtues of delight return their thankfulness. For mercy, pity, peace, and love is God our Father dear, and mercy, pity, peace, and love is man his child and care. For mercy has a human heart, pity a human face, and love the human from divine, and peace the human dress. Then every man of every clime that prays in his distress, prays to the human form divine, love, mercy, pity, peace. And all must love the human form in heathen, Turk, or Jew, where mercy, love, and pity dwell, their God is dwelling too. In this poem, Blake attributes 4 divine characteristics to both God and man: mercy, pity, peace, and love. These are the divine attributes of God and are the reflections of what God finds in man, whom he created. The potential for realizing the divine is in man, Blake believed, and does not require supernatural intercession. It only requires that man be tuned in with the mystical powers he harbors within his own soul. Those powers, the innocence of man in that soul, are untouched by harsh experiences and still connected to that which is godly. So it is no surprise, in light of Blake's own he would value this concept of the divine. In this sense, madness could be explained away, his madness could be explained away by giving credit to his own connection with the mystical power of his own human life. He was and is simply a free spirit, capable of realizing all of those 4 traits. Blake's religious philosophy is expressed in his poetry and is one of the innocence and forgiveness and love. But more than an expression of Christian charity, it is a call for each individual to recognize the potential of their own creativity and imagination and to bring it to fruition. He expresses the dual side of man's nature in all of his work in order to disclose and reveal the infinite within them. That, as he felt, was his mission here on this planet in this life. Blake saw the infinite in everything. He saw, when he read the Bible, the infinite in everything in the Bible. He saw it in the words of Isaiah. For Isaiah, without even seeing God, sees the infinite in everything and is still persuaded by God, calling to him. The power of this persuasion, Isaiah admits, may be imaginary, but he did not think of the consequences of being seen as a madman. Isaiah simply wrote what he knew. The power of conviction and persuasion overcame all obstacles that might have halted his spiritual growth. Isaiah wrote about the experience of the mystical transcendence that does transcend any kind of categorical boundary of madness or sanity, or truth or falsity. The divine is the divine, and we are persuaded of that divine. And once we have been persuaded, the mystical experience and spiritual growth becomes a conviction within us. So we ask the question again, why is such mystical devotion taken to be delusion? Blake claims he saw Elijah. Someone claims they hear the voice of God, and their resolve cannot be shaken. How does one know this is not true? Does the body deceive the imagination, or does it merely seduce the soul due to some defect? Blake wrote, if the doors of perception are cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite. For man has closed himself up till he sees all things through narrow little slits of his cavern. That passage from Blake's poem, Heaven and Hell, implies that we are deceived, but most importantly, we have deceived ourselves. So what if we rephrase the question by asking, instead, is Blake a madman? We ask, what can Blake's mysticism and madness teach us? And so now, as we breathe in for just a minute more, taking all those words in about Blake, think about those mystic moments you've had in your life, because we've all had them, recognized or unrecognized, and how they have shifted and changed your life, and what you learned and continue to learn from those moments where the doors of perception are opened and we see the infinite in everything. And so as I open the doors to the everythingness, I sit quietly in the quietude, and I listen deeply and ask what needs to be revealed in and through and as me, just for this moment, just for this day, as we quiet the mind one more time, and the answer is revealed in and through and as us. And so as we come back, today I am open and receptive, seeing beyond my fear, beyond my small focus of reality, and open and receptive to have what needs to be revealed in and through and as me, to assure me and connect me with the divine, that I am always connected. with that divine essence. Call it God, Buddha, Jesus, Baha'u'llah, Moses, Muhammad, Krishna, the angels, those who cross over. They're all there, my guides, my prophets, my wisdom comes from that pool of the wisdom that is that ocean in a drop, heaven in a wildflower, and a world in a grain of sand. And so I now know, as Blake wrote so beautifully, I have been led to believe a lie that we see with, not through the eye, to be born in a night, to perish in a night. Revealed to me, expressing it in and through and as me. And together, as I leave you, we say namaste, peace out. Don't forget to listen to Reverend Lynn Chaplain Noe today with Falling in Love with Laughter, or Through Laughter. And she is witty and fun and brilliant. And I think you'll enjoy it at 7 p.m. tonight. And for those who know Marcia Beebe, it's her birthday today. So happy birthday, dear Marcia. Mwah! Peace out, namaste. Peace out, namaste. I'll see you on the flip side. Have a blessed, visionary day. And so it is.